Okay, so this person sent me a message asking about consent. They want to know basically what's the best practice when it comes to consent. They listed a few different options and they said that they want sex to be consensual and feel safe and natural, but don't want it to be robotic. So let's talk about it. So what I've started noticing recently is that there's beginning to be a cultural shift where men have gone from not really giving much of a fuck about women's consent in general, like either not factoring it in or just not caring whether or not they consent to the things that were going on, and it's shifting to a situation where a lot of men are overly cautious and they're overly, checking on consent to a point where it might feel robotic. Whereas they're asking, "Oh, do you consent to kissing? Do you consent to touching? Do you consent to everything?" Like, etc. And of the two, the latter is significantly better. Like, it's way better to be overly cautious. Like, it's not even close. It is infinitely better to be more cautious on these things than to be not cautious enough. I want to establish that first. Being more cautious is better than not cautious enough. So if you're wondering whether or not you should ask, just go ahead and ask. It's better to ask than to guess. You get what I'm saying? For the most part, if somebody wants to do something with you, and then you ask them, "Hey, do you want to do this thing with me?" They're just going to say yes. I ask before I kiss somebody for the first time. The only time I don't ask is if they're the one starting the kiss. Other than that, I ask. If they want to kiss me, they will say yes. I have lost nothing by asking. If they don't want to kiss me, they will say no, and I have saved myself some embarrassment and a lawsuit. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. There are people who think it's less romantic or it takes them out of the mood if you ask for everything. I don't fuck those people. They're not for me. I'm not doing that. They can work that shit out with somebody else. When it comes to this list, I ask. I don't ask at like every individual step, but I'll ask to start, and then I'll do like check-ins as we're progressing. You know what I'm saying? Unless I already know them and we've already been hooking up, I'm not starting with nonverbal. But even after that, if I think we should have a conversation before we start like getting into it, then I'll have one. I don't personally worry about this one. Like, I don't stop to be like, "Hey, by the way, like, if at any point you feel uncomfortable, we can stop." Like, I don't personally do that because I don't ever give off the vibe that that's not the case. You know, so like, especially I'm asking for consent for kisses. Like, they already kind of get the vibe of, oh, like if I say no, he's gonna stop. If the person you're talking to has some kind of trauma associated with this, it might be better to clarify. I don't personally put anyone in a situation that would make them think I'm gonna ignore their no, so I don't think about this. But I do check in and ask if things feel good, stuff like that. You don't gotta think too hard about this because at the end of the day, it's about respect and consideration. Do they want to participate in the things that we're doing? Do I care enough to check about that? That's how I think about it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.